Frooglesim videos are powered by Jetline Systems.
Hello YouTube, this is Frugal and this is the Frooglesim news for today, Sunday, June the 17th. First up, PMDG's announcements from FS Expo last weekend. Video you're watching for this story and the next one is from my friend Flightsim Guy. It is linked in the show notes below. Do give him a few hundred likes and subscribes. First up, PMDG announced the 747-8 features, or at least unveiled a lot more detail around them. It is apparently a highly data-driven aircraft. It has more in common with the 787 and the 777 than it has with the Dash 400. The 747-8 includes the new vertical situation display, for example, giving you a great cross-section view of the aircraft, as well as the ECL, or electronic checklist, just like on the 777, including abnormals and deferred item out checklists. It also includes the airport environment display, which shows runways, taxiways, and so on. That actually caches and calculates maps based on the sceneries that you have installed in your sim. So what you'll see on the airport environment display in the 747-8 will always match what you can see outside of your window. Perhaps the biggest news with the aircraft, though, was the news that PMDG are including a full EFB, or electronic flight bag. They have a one-to-one modeling of the actual EFB in the actual 747-8 with the one that they're including in their own 747-8. They're also experimenting with exporting data to a tablet outside of the sim. The EFB will handle performance calculations for you and export those results to the FMS. It also handles conversions. Internal dynamic video cameras, app preferences as well are now on the EFB instead of on the FMC. It also handles document management really well. It apparently is more than just a folder to drop files into. You can actually search files in the EFB for specific phrases. You can read multi-page documents. They even include Jepson licensed nav charts from Navigraph. You will require a Navigraph subscription for that. Now, the EFB is going to be ported later into the 777 and the NG3. It is not coming to the Dash 400 since the EFB is not included in the real Dash 400. Sticking with PMDG announcements, the other announcement from them was a new product called Global Ops. Now, PMDG have been working on this as a side project for the past 10 years, and the idea was to build a complete simulation of ACARS in the aircraft and the global radio and satellite networks that back ACARS up. ACARS in the aircraft will relay PIREPs from other pilots as well as operational messages from the airline. When you're getting the aircraft ready to go, for example, ACARS is used to send you the weight and balance just like in the real world. PMDG are actually modeling tons of ACARS functionality completely accurately based on the real deal. In flight, for example, you can view aircraft history and you can make weather requests, and behind the scenes, the system also accurately simulates the availability of both the radio network and the satellite networks that ACARS uses. So if you travel out of range, then when you reconnect, any queued up data and messages will be sent through at that point. It's kind of cool. Outside of ACARS, though, this is also a network of persistent aircraft. You can fire up Global Ops and view pilots flying and find aircraft that have been landed and then, in quotes, check them out. The aircraft will be in the exact state and position the previous pilot left them in, and you can rate the effectiveness of that pilot in following procedures correctly and leaving the aircraft in the correct state. The system will also provide a back-end data source that virtual airlines can tap into to get the data they need. Now, there are a number of tiers that Robert Randazzo defined as to which features will come online and when, including making this available to pretty much any aircraft in a limited fashion in Tier 3. Other publishers, though, are already signing on to be Tier 1 or release partners, including Aerosoft. Now, for more information on Global Ops and the 747-8, do check out Flightsim Guy's video, as I said at the beginning of this, and Robert's presentation in full. Sticking with FS Expo, and FS Dream Team announced GSX Level 2. FS Dream Team unveiled an expansion to GSX that they are calling Level 2. Now, it adds two main features to GSX. The first is sewed jetways everywhere. All the outdated default jetways that you have in the sim disappear and get replaced by beautiful new animated sewed ones. The jetways can also be customized. GSX Level 2 is going to include more than 80 real-world jetways and liveries. You can also turn on or off accessories at the jetway, like the air conditioner unit, the power unit, as well as ground markings and logos. In prepared version 4, the jetways will also automatically be numbered. The second main main feature of GSX Level 2 is animated peoples. Now, animated passengers are now going to be boarding the aircraft on the new jetways or on boarding stairs. There is a better passenger bus, again with animated passengers coming out of it. Lots of different characters as well, each with their own unique look and animation styles, and it even includes an animated crew arriving in a van. With a little tweaking, you will also be able to animate the exact number of passengers boarding the aircraft to match the load that you have on board your aircraft, which is kind of cool. FS Dream Team's GSX Level 2 is going to go into beta testing, they hope, at the end of June. It's going to release sometime in September. They hope. That could change. Don't have an exact price for the expansion just yet. The FS Dream Team say to expect less than $30. For more information, you can check out the FS Dream Team forum link in the show notes below. Next up, the Quality Wings 787-10. Quality Wings showed off information about their upcoming 787-10 at FS Expo and published footage of it in action on their Facebook page, which is what you're looking at right now. Now, of course, this is the long-awaited -10 model of the 787 that was included on the original 787 project page as coming soon. The -10 is the longest and newest member of the 787 family from Boeing, and it first flew in 2017. It can carry up to 310 passengers, putting the aircraft in direct competition with the Airbus 350-900 and the 777-200ER. Now, as always with Quality Wings, it will be released when it's done, and they aren't about to go and commit to just when that will be. They have said, however, that the -10 will be a free upgrade for existing 787 customers. Next up, JustFlight. JustFlight showed up at the expo with an interesting banner, which is the image you're looking at right here. They are apparently working on a 747 Classic. Not much is known about this just yet, but from the comments and replies on their Facebook page, it appears to model both the -100 and -200 models of the 747, as well as the cargo variants of those. JustFlight also claimed that it will be study level. I don't know how far along in development this is. It's not currently listed at JustFlight's in development page, though. More news when I have it. In the meantime, check out their Facebook page, linked in the show notes below. Next up, Jovietsky's Designs previewed Chicago. Now, I don't know if this was previewed at Flight Sim Expo, but it was that weekend. Jovietsky previewed their upcoming Chicago scenery and airports, posting a bunch of screenshots of it on Facebook. Now, as always with their scenery, this is going to cover the entire city, as well as highly detailed renditions of the airports. The city includes notable landmarks, including Trump Tower, the Kemper Building, the Chase Building, as well as the iconic waterfront. No idea yet of a release date or a price, but stay tuned to their Facebook page, linked in the show notes below, for more information. Now, finally, X-Plane news. Before I get into this, though, I know that Laminar did show up at FS Expo, and they did outline a roadmap for X-Plane 11. I haven't watched the full video of that yet. I will review it and see if there's anything of note in there. But in the meantime, Aerobask are releasing the Robin DR401 for free. Now, the video you're watching is from Thomas Rasmussen, as is often the case with my X-Plane stories. It is linked in the show notes below. Do take a look and give the guy a few hundred likes and subscribes. Aerobask are about to release a free Robin DR401 to the X-Plane community as a thank you for their success on that platform recently. The 401 is a 4-seater wooden monoplane with a glass cockpit, and Aerobask's version includes an integrated Garmin G1000, a flight model from X Aerodynamics. It is VR ready with 4K textures and an F-Mod sound set, as well as an accurately simulated FADEC test and preheater. Now, I don't have an exact release date just yet. Do keep an eye on the Aerobask URL in the show notes below, though, and as soon as it's available, you'll be able to download it from that very link. And finally, Aerosoft Helgoland for X-Plane. Video you're watching is from R1 Aviation and is linked in the show notes below. Again, do take a look at his video, give him a few hundred likes and subscribes. Aerosoft's Helgoland, released in February for FSX and Prepared, has now arrived in X-Plane. This scenery obviously recreates Germany's only island in the open ocean. It is built from up-to-date aerial images and features a 1-meter mesh so you can actually make out the dunes near the airport itself. It also includes the characteristic short runways of Duna, as well as all current airport buildings. It also includes a German Navy frigate and SAR helicopter, as well as 4 offshore wind farms. The price is a little more expensive than the FSX and Prepared version at €18.45, but it's still pretty good value. More information at the aerosoft.com link in the show notes below. Now that's it for this week's news. As always, if I did miss something, do leave me a comment in the comment section below and I'll take a look to see if I should include it in next week's show. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this during Father's Day and the opening weekend of the World Cup. As always, my name is Frugal and I will see you all very soon.